Broadcasting live from Big Toe Studios, you are listening to Blacken It Up with Team Blackness, right here on blackitup.com.
What is going on, people? We are back. This is Blacking It Up. I'm your host, Elon James White. With me, as per usual, is Team Blackness, beaming all the way in from nowhere because she's not beaming in. She's been sitting here for the past 3 hours because we've been doing shows before that, but apparently I am on autopilot because I have been not eating. With me right now, political strategist L.J. Williams. Ma'am, I don't know which camera is your camera. This is all new.
Wow. Hi, everyone.
How are you doing, young lady?
Shout out to the chat room, those listening live.
Oh, you were just so. Also with us.
I can look directly at everyone.
Also in studio, we have Premier Straight Man, Captain Lieutenant General Aaron Rand Freeman, sir.
Purple dude.
You're not that purple. Relax.
All right.
We have a new setup in studio. Everything we have here is just a little bit different. Like you'll note that the way the camera is, the way we set up here. L.J. Williams now looks like she's at a library as she talks to us. Even though I just realized there's alcohol right behind you. If you see right behind you, you can see a bottle of something. I don't even know what it is, but it's right behind you. So obviously L.J. Williams is a lush. Wrong way. It's the other side. Yeah, that's right. It's right there. Yeah.
What is that?
You ignore it. It's fine. And also Aaron Rand Freeman. Currently, I don't know what's up with your camera, dude. Your camera does not like the new setup in any shape, form, or fashion.
It's because I'm wearing this nice red shirt.
I mean, it's fine though. It's like you're not that purple. You'll live.
Oh, I'm making sure. Right.
We do this Monday through Thursday. Even now with the new setup. Hey, do you see the background here? Look at that. Oh, look at that. I have like screens in the background and stuff like that. Look at that.
Fancy.
It's not really that fancy. It's called rearranging everything you own.
Is DJ Hero giving you any money on the side?
I'm saying Xbox need to be a sponsor.
Take that off the damn wall.
It's a cool poster. You don't think the DJ Hero thing is a cool poster?
Free advertising.
It's free advertising.
Well, you know what? When someone wants to buy advertising here, I will put that right there. I just thought it was a cool poster, and I mean, not a poster. It came with my DJ Hero. I've had it for a minute, and so that's why I have it. What do you want from me?
Oh, my tummy.
What?
I'm hungry.
Did you bring up that you're hungry on air?
Sorry.
That's the type of thing where she looks at the camera like people are just gonna start sending in food immediately.
I take offense that you realize they won't send you food here.
They actually may. She has a lot of pull. The chat room is a huge fan. There's a good possibility there may be 2 or 3 deliveries before the show is over.
I'm done with you. I'm done with both of you. As I said, we do this Monday through Thursday, and apparently we have a docket. And I was told that we're not allowed to be super hard in the paint today because we've already been hard in the paint.
Yeah.
So we have to kind of be nice now. And so what could be a wacky story that we could do that wouldn't be hard in the paint that like the audience could deal with? I'm not sure. Oh, here we go.
It's time to take it. Warren told me to take it. I gotta take it. Warren G, what are you doing here?
I tried to tell you to take your Affirm XL, but you didn't want to listen. As you can see, I take my Affirm XL, and now I got to regulate. Ladies, it's Affirm XL and the place to be. I want you to call that number at the count of 3 at the bottom of your screen to get your Affirm XL.
Yeah.
Did Warren G just sell me penis enhancement pills?
I think so.
Did Warren G?
Was Firm XL the brothel where he found all the white women, or the pill he took?
I don't know for a fact anything. Is
he wearing a crown?
He was in fact.
So the economy is bad?
That's a crown, right? That is in fact a crown.
The economy is bad and people need jobs. And apparently Warren G needed a check. So he
I would have done the same thing.
Well, and we've established that you'll sell out in a heartbeat.
Yes.
We know that. That's not really saying something that you'll do it. my question is, really, Warren G?
He needed.
He said regulate. He said that he had to regulate.
Yeah.
He actually said he had to regulate.
The economy is bad.
Don't stop with your economy bad thing and speak into your microphone, young lady. You are not.
I am speaking into.
I need
my microphone.
You were a little bit low. I need you full. I need full Eljoy Williams political strategist.
I'm speaking into my microphone.
There you go.
Now it's working. Yeah, I don't know what to do with that. I think I'd rather talk about shit that breaks us than Warren G's selling dick pills. Because that's what he's doing. He's selling. Don't make faces. You put it on the docket.
You told me to look for stuff that would not break people, and so you told me a site to go on, and this was on the front page of the site.
Is Firm XL like at least is it like chemical based or is it like a nice organic?
I don't care. There's never a point in time. If I ever start selling dick pills, please be worried. Please be worried.
I won't let you.
Like that'll ruin my bid for Congress.
Yeah.
Me selling dick pills.
That'd be an entertaining plot twist for This Week in Blackness, though. You start selling erectile dysfunction.
And by the way, I just saw the chat room. The chat was like, "Oh, so Elon goes to sites with erectile dysfunction." It's like, what site was it? It was on Black Voices, wasn't it?
Yes.
So yeah, it's not Elon's not going to weird sites. Is that like, oh, I said that, oh, we should pick up some stories because we've been breaking everybody. Pick up a happy story or two. Swing by Black Voices, stuff like that. And apparently,
that's what you told me. No, I don't go there on a regular basis. So you told me to go to Black Voices. That's where I went, and this was on the front.
Apparently, and Black Voices just got bought by AOL. So this is the type of crackpot investigating reporter that I'm sorry. What is this? Is Crackerjack? What's the good thing? The good way to say it?
Crackerjack box.
I don't know. But yeah, apparently that's what they do. They break out when Warren G is selling dick pills. Because that's what it's called. Okay, let's be real.
Wait, why didn't this guy just swallow his pride and take the pill so he could have the orgy that Warren G just had?
Well, that's obviously what he was doing. They were selling the concept that if you take these pills, you can be like Warren G and regulate.
I know, but did you need Warren G to tell you should take this pill to throw down on 5 women?
Sometimes you got to regulate.
But my thing is, again, one. Where is this airing that people will take the word of Warren G for pills to enhance their junk?
I don't know. I believe it doesn't really matter. Like I believe the idea is that they needed someone famous that you recognize, and you know Warren G's a rapper, so apparently he probably gets some ass, and so voila! If the dude who gets ass is selling pills from my dick,
from the advertiser's perspective, this is just not good.
Are you critiquing the advertising?
Well, I'm trying to bring it to a different level because I don't know what else to do. I'm trying to resist the temptation of clutching pearls.
Yeah, you clutch your pearls because you can't bring me a story and then you clutch your pearls.
I'm trying to have an intelligent conversation about it.
What is shocking about this commercial?
It's not shocking. It's sad. It's what it is. It's a dude who was famous. We respected him for a moment. He was Warren G. He regulated.
He needed an accountant. What can you say?
Again, the economy is bad.
You gotta know to dial it back and just rent an apartment in Brooklyn. Don't be an asshole. Don't be an asshole.
So he should get rid of the mansion he may have.
Yeah,
and just rent a condo.
When you're famous, you can read the writing on the wall. Don't be stupid.
Yeah, you might be right. You might be right. All right, let's go to the next thing. There's other stuff that's happening, right? Oh, let's see.
It's torture here inside jail because he's not allowed to have his own personal television, a video game system, any handheld video games, his own radio, or any pornographic material. Sheriff Tony Wickersham responds to the lawsuit.
We haven't had it here. There's no need for it. He's not going to get it, from the sheriff. We have,
I'm sorry. Maybe you didn't hear what just happened. Let me rewind that.
Wait, is he...
Cruel and unusual punishment, sensory deprivation. Inmate Kyle Richards says it's torture here inside jail because he's not allowed to have his own personal television, a video game system, any handheld video games, his own radio.
No. You're not understanding. No.
Is he?
Cruel and unusual punishment, sensory deprivation. Inmate Kyle Richards says it's torture here inside jail because he's not allowed to have his own personal television, a video game system, any handheld video games, his own radio, or any pornographic material. Sheriff Tony Wickersham responds to the lawsuit.
We haven't had it here. There's no need for it. He's not going to get it, from the sheriff. We have, female officers, female inmates, female staff that works in this facility, and there's no place for it here in our county jail.
Richards, an accused bank robber, filed this handwritten lawsuit. He claims because he's been deprived of these materials in jail, and therefore, he says, deprived of gratification, he has both immediate and ongoing physical injury caused by the jail failing to provide pornography or erotic material.
Oh, that's ridiculous. No way.
He crazy.
Be able to watch porn.
That dude on the screen, it looks like he's watching you laugh, and it's making him laugh at the situation.
It's called jail. You're in jail.
To provide pornography or erotic material.
Oh, that's ridiculous. No way.
He crazy.
I don't think they should be able to watch porn.
Why did they ask a random 12-year-old what they thought about her, dude?
She was gonna say it.
Like this young lady is obviously not someone that you should ask.
Absurdity, even to a 12-year-old, that
crazy.
your ass is in jail and you don't get to have the luxuries, I guess, that everybody else who's not in jail has.
He crazy. Normally when I see something like a response like this, I'm sitting there going, Lord, because she looked like she ethnic, and get me a little bit nervous because they couldn't even give a reasonable response. But that was probably the best response for this story. He crazy. He crazy.
I like the cop.
And this is why I'm going to take this to another level. I'm going to take this to another level.
There is no other level. What level are you going to bring it to?
That he has to sue because he doesn't have video games and porn? Imagination, motherfucker! Imagination!
That nigga shouldn't have got put in prison in the first place. A little bit of foresight would have saved him a lot of trouble.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, my God.
Jesus Christ.
I like the cop. Yeah, well, we're not going to be doing
here.
that. We have female officers.
He also said female inmates. Like, why does that?
Why does it matter?
Does he get to go have sex with the female inmates?
When he was saying that, I was like, wait, what does the female officers have to do with this?
I don't think that has to do with anything.
Is he requesting that the female officers star in the porn that he wants?
I think that rational officer was going to give him a rational offer kick in the back next time he's walking through the hallways. That's wasting everyone's time with this, suing all the officers for this. Where's my DS? Where's my Xbox?
How about you not rob a bank?
Yeah.
How about that? And then you won't be in jail.
All right.
And then you
He
can
crazy.
I don't think they should be able to watch porn in jail.
While the lawsuit may seem like a joke to some, people stopped laughing when they saw this motion. Richards claims he has no money and his filing fees and possible court-appointed attorney would be picked up by the taxpayers.
I think it's ridiculous how many they allow to go through and that we pay for.
No.
Richards says he's suffered psychological trauma and emotional distress due to sexual frustration and sexual deprivation, causing nervous breakdowns and, quote, stimulatory irritation.
Can we I know I'm a bit of a hard ass on the program. Is it okay if I were to green light him being beaten about?
Serious? No, you're not allowed to. He's not allowed to be beaten.
He's not allowed to just get.
He's not allowed to be beaten.
Just a few elbows in the rib, a few push in the back.
Sir, it's a good try.
He's costing us money now, though. But he's costing us money. I mean, can I get what I pay for? I don't want to pay for his lawyer. Can I at least pay for a kick in the back?
No.
Just a kick in the back. It's not going to kill him.
I think the residents of that town or whatever, they need to file grievance if the court allows him to have an attorney to represent him for this. This is crazy. This is absolutely ridiculous.
What if this goes to the Supreme Court and to find out?
Why would it go to the Supreme Court?
To find out not having access to porn is in fact harmful. Maybe prisons would be safer, more Gentile places if you could play a little Xbox 360 and have a little porn. Who knows the rules? What this could do for our antiquated prison system?
I would just love anyone in discussion. Like, then what's the point of prison?
Yeah,
and they just walk out. He can
have no access to.
No, the point of prison is that you're locked up somewhere, and you're not allowed to live your life.
You're not allowed to live your life.
Yeah,
Xbox and porn is part of you living your life. This is one of the reasons why we don't commit crime. You know why I've never knocked over a liquor store?
Because you need porn and video games?
I like my porn. I like my high definition television.
Oh, okay. We didn't say he was getting high definition television. Maybe he'll get an Xbox with just S video. Like it'll be terrible picture.
It doesn't matter.
Again, does imagination not work anymore?
Not for this guy. You see his face. You want to put his face back on the screen? It doesn't look like he's as sharp as a whip. It doesn't look like he's all there because he robbed the bank and is now complaining about the conditions in prison.
He is complaining
about
the prisons in prison.
Lack of foresight is probably his life's major issue.
Actually, I would argue that I think if I was in prison, I'd do this. I'm gonna go on record saying if I'm in prison, I'm doing this. I'm fucking doing it.
If you cost me money, I'm gonna have kicked in the back.
What else do I have to do? I got nothing else to do. Like, I'm in prison.
Read a book.
Well, yeah, I did read a book. I probably read a book about suing the system, and now voila, I might be able to get some plan out of this.
Think about the consequences of you being in jail because you tried to rob a bank.
I'm just saying, I could
learn a skill.
I'm not shocked by this.
Your high school diploma.
That's a lot.
Get a college degree.
Hey, you can put that guy's face on the screen. Once
Learn
again,
how
everything.
to make a license plate.
Eldre, look at this man's face.
I can't put his face back on. It's already gone.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. His face. Some books you can judge by their
Read
cover.
about the Civil War.
He's not going to read about
the Civil War. Why would he read about the Civil War? That doesn't make sense.
You realize the lack of porn is forcing him to hurt his genitals? That's essentially what he's saying is that he's not able. He's jerking off with nothing to look at, so he's not able to finish. So he's just beating off and hurting himself. That's essentially what he's saying. I've heard that before. That term. That's what it means. He needs some porn to finish jerking off, or else he's just gonna jerk off for like an hour and a half, like a retard, and burn himself. That's what he hurt himself. That's what the harm is comes. The stimulation, harm from stimulation comes from. He has no imagination at all. He actually can't imagine a pair of titties. He needs a pair of titties in front of him to be able to finish what he started, and he's hurting himself, so he's suing.
I think the residents of this area should complain if indeed he is going to get an attorney to represent him in this absurd case. And I would not... Whatever judge this comes before, for whatever judge to say, get this off of my schedule, this is some bullshit.
All right, if you think that's bullshit, let's see what you think of this. Let's see if I can pull the picture up. So, this has been going down. You guys familiar with this? Planking. Guys familiar with planking? You familiar with that? Well, apparently it's the new hotness. Even though it's been happening for like at least the last 12 years.
I've seen one instance of it being very funny, where someone had a picture, someone photoshopped a picture of Superman planking on the wing of an airplane. That made me laugh.
On a wing of an airplane? That does sound kind of funny.
Yeah, Superman was just laying face down on the wing of an airplane. That is kind of funny. But otherwise, it's...
I find it ridiculous. I
think it's...
I don't really care about planking. It's not... No. I had no urge to do it. I've had no urge to check out all the planking pictures. In fact, as it came up on my feed, I was like, the fuck is planking? I looked at it, figured it out, said cool, figured out what happened, all right, and then I moved forward.
Me, because I have TweetDeck, thanks to Elon, I've muted planking out of my Twitter.
Twitter. That's smart.
And it's not that I don't think you're degrading the race I just think it's
that's
whatever.
That's the thing. Apparently, people have become outraged because planking is like what they did to the slaves.
And it has its roots in slavery.
It has its roots in slavery. That's what they did to the slaves, planking. I did not.
Yeah. It comes from, and there's this whole, what I call 125th Street logic, that, we were planking and we came over here on the ship planking and that's where it came from, and now Negroes is planking and sending pictures and they have, your history. Know your history. This is the white man's attempt to try to doubt.
You need to sit that particular fellow down because he's having a long weekend. If someone just rolling up on you trying to explain the devils of planking and how it's oppressing our race, you sit him down. You don't walk away from him. You sit him down. You know what's
oppressing our race? Unemployment.
Well, no, and planking.
Lack of education.
Planking.
Access to food.
Planking. Listen.
But apparently, I'm supposed to be outraged.
You should be outraged. Maybe
planking is happening.
You don't know how to be outraged if you don't know that you should be outraged about planking.
It's not like people are taking pictures of themselves lined up, face up on a ship, naked, coming across the freaking ocean.
That would be very elaborate.
Defecating on themselves, like covered in urine and sweat. And
with
singing,
white people standing over them with whips and stuff like that. That's not what's happening.
Wade in the water to drink.
Fall back with your 125th Street logic.
$37,000.
Fall back.
$37,000 planking exhibition costs so much money.
It's just
it's a little stupid thing. I'm not in it. I'm not even judging you for doing it. I've seen some of the pictures. Okay.
Right. The original, and the
it's something to do in social media. Now, to the stupid people that are planking on the edges of roofs and stuff and then falling down and hurting themselves and dying.
Keep doing it. That's just funny.
Really?
You dumbass.
Really?
Yes.
What's wrong
on the edge of something so you can fall down the damn mountain?
I would also like to point out that the original name of this game was the lying down game. It had nothing to, like, because planking sounds like that does sound like some slave ship shit, son. Planking, because planking comes from the ancient Cometians when they lied down the Negro. Like, it sounds reasonable when you first make the argument. You know what I mean? But the name of the game was actually just the lying down game. And so people would lie down different places. That was it. People would lie down on the street. People would lie down. It was just
top of cop cars.
Right. It was just you would just lie down. If you lie down somewhere
of
weird.
A baby on top of a microwave.
Yes, and it's the issue here. Please note, because we're not sitting here. We're not bringing this up because we're like, you know what's awesome? Planking.
No.
Nor are we outraged that people are planking. I don't give a fuck what you do with your life. Plank the fuck away. I don't. You want to plank? I don't give a shit. I genuinely don't give a shit.
If you want to plank on the edges of things and fall into the abyss, then go for it.
Aaron.
Awesome.
Aaron, why you just every show you try to get someone to die?
Listen, natural selection is, it works in mysterious ways. If someone thinks that laying face down on the end of a 200-foot fall is what they want to do, then God bless them. Let them move forward. Let them have their dreams. If it doesn't work out for them, then that's the nature of trying to succeed. Sometimes you fail.
I remember on one past episode of the show where Bossy said that her father said, if you die doing something stupid, I'm not coming to your funeral or something. He said like that.
That's awesome.
Planking on the edge. Someone planked on the edge of some balcony or something and fell.
I'm someone who doesn't fuck with balconies.
Hell no.
I don't fuck with balconies. Like, when I say I don't fuck with balconies, no, I really mean I don't fuck with balconies. All right. Like I'm not leaning over that far. Nope. I'm not leaning against it. I don't fuck with like windows that are high. Like glass windows. Like I see people leaning against. Fuck you. I don't fuck with you. You know why? I don't know what construction dude was having a bad day that day when he had to install that particular piece of glass or that particular piece of balcony, and he was like, fuck this shit, man. Broom, broom. Hey, construction guy. So I'm in the middle of some construction guy. Come here. You know, fuck this. I ain't even putting this shit in right. And then all of a sudden, you come out one day, and it might take 5 years, and it's just that half screwed in screw that you lean over and then boom, you're dead. And you be like, what happened? The balcony failed. You failed yourself. You failed yourself. Stop leaning against shit. So I'm also someone who doesn't. I don't find it funny when like I've been on mountains, probably because of white people, but I've been on mountains and people want to lean at the edge of the mountain and look over and shit like that and play. Why? Why are you doing that? What joy do you get? Oh, look. Oh, are you afraid, Elon? Yes, motherfucker, I'm terrified. We're fucking super high. What do you mean am I afraid? Yes, I'm afraid. Guess what I don't like? I don't like the ability to fall from high places. That's not me being weird.
I think the concept of falling in silence and that's it bothers me. Like you just goes, oh, and then that's it for you, and then you're just gone. That's terrifying to me. That's not. No, I don't
like that shit. I don't like on rooftop. I'll go to a roof. I love rooftop bars, but I don't like to be at the edge of the rooftop. I like to be in the middle of the rooftop and knowing that I am on the roof and I can see the sky. That's all I want. I don't need to be on the edge. I don't need to look down to know, oh, look how high. Fuck you. I don't need any of that. You're an asshole. I'm flat out. Eljoy Williams, political strategist. This is my new running platform for when I go for Congress. You go to the edge of some shit and you just to play around, you're an asshole. You're a fucking asshole. And if you fall, I'm not fucking doing a memorial for you. I'm not saying any words for you. I'm not gonna sue anybody. I'm not gonna stand up for the right. No, you're an asshole. Stop being an asshole.
Basically, what we're saying is if you want to plank.
Live your life. Live your life.
It's your right. Live
Do
your
the fuck
life.
you want, and I'm not gonna let you sit here and I'm not gonna let you sit here and be called that you're betraying your race.
But don't.
Yeah. No.
Bring no 125th Street logic.
Yeah. Fuck you.
To people who are planking, let them have their fun. And to the stupid people who want to plank while drunk and fall because you're leaning on shit. It's your own damn fault.
So that's why I will never be someone who's drunk, because I've known someone and I've heard of other people who have fallen from balconies and windows drunk. I will never be that Negro. I will never be that Negro. You know why? Because I know fucking better. I get drunk. You know what I want to do? I want to hold something very, really away from everything else. That's what I want to do. You know why? Because it's my instinct. My instinct is to stay the fuck away from edges. Fuck an edge.
Plank away.
Well, what about my platform for edges, Eljoy Williams?
I think that's a reasonable Negro response.
I feel like reasonable Negro is really underrated. Being a reasonable Negro, really underrated. And because they try to act like. And by the way, if you want to be a reasonable Negro, you can be white and be a reasonable Negro. That's fine. Like I feel like the reasonable Negro tag can be given to I feel like it should be a title, like lieutenant. You know what I mean? Like you can be like a captain, a lieutenant, or a reasonable Negro. You should be like given that title, a reasonable Negro. I'm not gonna hide. I'm not gonna say you can't have reasonable Negro and I'm Asian. Asians can be reasonable. Reasonable Negro is something you should be aspiring to and working at all points in time in your life. And just certain things, just go, hey, you know what? That doesn't make a lot of sense. Maybe I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna go over there and do that. Like that's something that stop being a bitch, son.
It's really funny. Like 6 kids, 5 of them go and plank on the edge of a rooftop, and then one of them goes, you know what? I'm just gonna go home. This is weird. And then they get an email the next day. The ceremony. They've made the cut.
You've officially become a reasonable Negro.
Yeah. By the way, I just saw someone say that if a white person says Negro, they're gonna get punched. Really? Are we really punching people for Negro? Like a Negro. Like I've always, and apparently people don't see the difference between the word Negro and nigga. Like I used to, it's the difference.
The same.
It's different. I look at Negro the same way I look at Caucasian. Caucasian is not honky, all right? Even though honky, doesn't have the same punch as a good racial slur. But yeah, Negro and Caucasian I look at the same way. They're antiquated terms. People don't say them that often anymore, but that's what they are. And that's why I like it. People go, are you still using the word Negro? It's not really.
You know who probably still says Negro and Caucasian?
Wesley Snipes.
Pat Buchanan.
Oh. Sorry.
He probably went home after being on MSNBC. Yeah, I was in a restaurant, and this Negro gal.
I wouldn't hate on him for that. I think it's a little bit weird, but it's like. Negro, I'm not gonna hate on people for Negro. I am not gonna hate on Negro. Like he said colored, that I hate on. If he said jigaboo, there's various things that if he said, I'd be like, okay, fuck you. You can't say that.
Like my grandmother still whispers the word white.
That's hilarious.
She still whispers when she says
whispers
white people. She whispers.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That's hilarious. My grandmother is 86, and she grew up in North Carolina.
Oh dear. That was a time when she probably shouldn't say white people.
Right.
Oh, that's not as funny anymore.
So it's definitely not as, she definitely doesn't whisper as low as I remember when I was younger,
right.
But she does. And she also doesn't see, there are certain people that aren't white to her. So Jewish people.
You know what? That's an argument that I've had with a lot of Jews.
Not white?
Jews will argue with me about whether or not they're white. And I've argued like, oh, no, you're white.
Italians aren't white to my grandmother?
Oh, well, actually, they weren't white until about 80 years ago.
So if you imagine this, my grandmother is 86 years old, so she sees ethnicities. So she'll say that Italian, she'll say that Russian, she'll say, this, but white people to her are from like Alabama, North Carolina. They're like,
she's talking about Lily White.
She's talking about white people.
Right. No, I've had arguments about this with Jewish people. Actually, I'm going to open up the phone lines. I would love.
Jewish people.
I've had some Jewish people tell me that they're not white. No, they're not white. They're not white, and I'm like, but if I ask you where you're from and your people are from, you say that you're from Russia, you're from Eastern Europe. That's where white people come from. Now you might.
Yeah, that's to be.
It's an interesting argument
because remember when Italians came over here.
True.
They weren't.
But also, you know what? What you call it? I would argue that Christian Lander pointed this out. The guy who wrote Stuff White People Like. He pointed out the fact that because people like when they're talking about white and black or whatever, they go, "Well, Italians weren't white or Jewish for the white." Like, yeah, but you're white now. Like, you have all the white privilege that you can get. Like, you fucking calm down. Once you start getting white privilege,
they worked really hard. Apparently, we didn't work hard enough.
No, we're not in line to become white. The next person in line to become white is Asians. Asians might be able to pull off white privilege. You know what? I thought you were going to stop me and say that was going to stop me. That was going to get me in trouble for campaigning. No, the next person online for white privilege is Asian.
And we're not talking about white skin color. We're talking about
the privilege
that comes with the power, sort of all that stuff. We're not talking about just being.
No, not that they're white people, but the fact is that the next people to be able to fall into that privilege, I believe, will be Arabs were actually really close. They were actually considered at points in time white. Like W. Kamau Bell from San Francisco, he does this show called the Bell Curve, and he actually pointed out when Arabs became not white. Like, he was like, up until like 2000 on the census, it was like white and or Arab. Like, it was considered in the same group, and then all of a sudden something happened. That was weird. What happened early in the century that Arabs stopped being white? I don't know.
The Arab national basketball team upset the U.S. basketball team, causing major waves and unrest.
But yeah, all of a sudden they weren't white anymore. It's weird.
We'd love to hear your comments on this. Call in 718-404-9320. Let's get some comments in here on this.
Yeah, see, and this is not nearly as dark as the last show. See?
No, we're trying to be.
We're happy. We're go lucky.
Balanced and uplifting.
Exactly. That's what I said. I said we're uplifting. Even though I think everyone. I think we scared off everyone who normally calls. They were like, fuck that shit. They were super dark. If you listen to the radio show, we were possibly a little bit hurtful to your soul.
There's real stuff going on.
Real stuff going on.
Real stuff in the streets.
Yeah, as opposed to the argument of whether or not you're white or not.
No, I think it's depending on when you grew up, and if you think about it, you asked your grandparents or your great-grandparents,
right?
In terms of their perspective.
About to pick up the phone.
Well, I can't see that.
Blocking it up. Who is this? Where are you calling from? It's not. Of course, everything freezes when I pick up the phone. Oh, that's just weird. Hello, hi, blacking it up. Who is this and where are you calling from?
This is Ashley from Philadelphia.
What's going on, young lady? What do you have to say about all this?
I have a question about the Jews being not white. That's always confused me because I always thought of Jews not being particularly white, but I guess they still have that, they still have white privilege basically.
Right.
Like you can sort of quote unquote pass for being white, but you may be culturally Jewish or you may just be religiously Jewish. So that's always been a blur for me. That and with Italians too, because Italians will always say, we descended from Moors or whatever, but I was trying to figure out myself.
What whites would say that? Every time I bring up the Moors and Italians get pissed the fuck off. I remember one time at a show, I said that this guy was saying something. I was like, what ethnicity are you? He's like, I'm Italian. I'm like, really? Because you seem a little tan. He goes, I'm Sicilian. I'm like, oh, you're just a light-skinned black guy. Man.
I've heard too. Okay, South Philly Italians. for the most, there's like half and half. Half of them are like, yeah, we're not really white. We're I don't know how to say it, but we're not really white. But there's others who like hate on black folks and just people of color in general. Mm-hmm. And then you've got, what other kind of Italians? Oh, then you have, I went to high school with a girl who considered herself Sicilian, but she looked mixed. Like she looked like one of her parents was black. Like she was like that dark and her hair was that kinky.
Right.
But she swore up and down that she was Sicilian and she was not black, and no one believed her. So it's always a kind of a crapshoot to me, like how those variations kind of go. And I just want a clarification, just to kind of just talk about it, because I think it's interesting.
I like that you called the 3 black people to say, hey, I need clarification on how Jews are white or white or not.
Like, can we have a Jewish person?
Oh, you know what? Excellent. We obviously are the experts at what white is.
But I also have to take it further. When you're talking about the thickness of her hair, or sort of color, more melanin or not. So are we saying that those are all characteristics that make you non-white?
I don't think if you're walking around with kinky hair and your skin's a little bit tan, I think just kind of acknowledge the fact that you have descendants of African descent a little bit more closely than your average blonde-haired, blue-eyed white person. I mean, I just think that I don't understand why you wouldn't. It seems like you're just denying it, even though you physically look, you don't look quote unquote white, so to speak.
Well, I mean, but
and
there
also,
could
by the
be
way,
other explanations.
People are mixed, actually mixed.
You could be Asian. You can be. So there's so many different, just not African ancestry.
Would you believe that how often I've mistaken Jews for Hispanic? The right type of Jew can totally pass for Hispanic. Like it's just it's about body type, about pigmentation. They can totally pass for Hispanic. And thank you for calling, young lady.
Oh, no problem.
She didn't say shout out to the chat room. Oh dear, she better not come back. I
feel like I would love to have this conversation, and hopefully people are not taking this out of context and racist, or any of that. But it's a real discussion, and especially once I realized that as an adult, from my grandma's perspective. First of all, I was amazed that she was able to pick that out.
What?
Right, be able to identify someone as Russian, Italian versus.
I believe there's certain features about people that you can tell, like, that someone looks more Russian, looks more German. There are features that you can you can point that out.
Maybe I just don't pay that much attention.
Nah, you don't pay attention.
I can tell.
You think all white people look alike?
I guess because I grew up in Queens and Brooklyn, I assumed, and I tell the story all the time. I grew up in Queens, right, and so white people. I mean, my grandmother didn't consider Jewish people white, right? So people I was surrounded around were African Americans, some Latino descent, and then Jewish, right? So then going to a place, I then went to California, and there's sort of, I guess, quote unquote white people. I can tell the difference between Jewish people and regular. I guess
regular. Did you say regular? My God, you are the worst. You're the worst political strategist. Blocking it up. Who is this, and where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Glasses Face. I'm calling from Seattle, Washington.
What's going on, young lady? What do you have to say about this?
I am Jewish and I am white. I'm not sure who you're talking to. I mean, I don't know. I think my guess is that maybe I feel like I'm very non-religious at all, and I kind of use my Jewishness to make me seem a little more interesting. I identify with Jewish stuff and Jewish stereotypes, and like my family are New Yorkers,
right? And
like the Brooklyn Dodgers and egg creams and stuff like that. I don't know. Curb Your Enthusiasm is funny. Stuff like that. Like it's hard. I don't have a whole lot of identity. I'm just kind of like a boring white person, but I've got this Jewish stuff. So. But I'm certainly white. Like I feel
so
like
you officially you officially consider yourself just flat out white. Like that's just the way it is.
Yeah. I'm a white cultural Jew, and I look real Jewish. Like I couldn't. Like I'm not. I don't know anything. But if you ask me like what year is it right now in the Hebrew calendar, I don't know. I wasn't bat mitzvahed. I just like
interesting.
I have curly hair.
Is it
my
a discussion?
family has Brooklyn accents.
Is it a discussion?
Yeah.
Is it a discussion that like you had, or did you just like? Did your family say you are white or you are Jewish, or was it just something you sort of identified?
I guess it's just something I identified. Like, I'm not sure. I don't even remember. I don't know when I found out that I was Jewish. I have no idea when I found out I was Jewish. Maybe somebody told me I had a Jewish last name. I don't know, because it was so. I probably learned it in the context of like, we have family who's really religious,
right?
Like Orthodox.
So you weren't raised Jewish. Like, you weren't raised Jewish.
What'd you say? No, well, no, not really. I mean, we would light the menorah unless my mom and I like didn't feel like it. If you were like, do you know where it is? And I'd be like, I think it's in my room, and she'd be like, never mind. Like, she got me presents so I wouldn't feel left out.
Nice.
It was sort of but it was totally, it's like a cultural thing. And now that I live in Seattle, it's interesting. Like, I'm from New York, and there are no Jews here. Like, people always try to fight me on that, but I sincerely believe there are no Jews here. And I sort of like see it missing, like the cultural Jewishness, like the sense of humor and the food and stuff is definitely.
But you're from if you're from New York. No. But see, okay, you have to acknowledge something here. If you're from New York, first of all, we have a very high concentration of Jews, and on top of it, our culture, New York culture, is strongly influenced by Jews.
Right.
And so,
absolutely.
So, like, literally, I didn't know this growing up. Almost everything I liked and considered New York was Jewish.
Right.
And so when I met Jews,
reason why we have a lot of school off days is because
Jewish holidays,
because of the teachers.
And like almost everything, I would go down a list of things that I like. I was like, oh man, I love it. Oh, a good knish is great. Man, I will kill you for a pastrami sandwich. And someone looked at me like, what type of Jew are you? They were just like, why are you so Jewish? I'm like, I'm not. I'm a New Yorker. New Yorkers like these things. Bagels and lox. That's what we do. But it's become New York, and so the idea that you said like you noticed the cultural, like of course, because Seattle just isn't nearly as influenced by Jewish culture as New York is. New York, they call it. I've heard people as a slur, of course, they refer to it as Jew York because we have such influence of Jewish culture.
Yeah, and I went to NYU too, so that was pretty Jewish.
Oh my God.
I was gonna say, well, now that I live out here, I mean, I certainly still consider myself white, but now that I'm out here, I do feel more like a minority because I've met people who like think it's adorable that I'm Jewish, like sort of like talk to me like I'm a child, and they're like, oh, did you have a Seder? And I'm like, what is that? So, I mean, I feel condescended to in a way that I have not before, which kind of makes me feel like a minority more than like makes me feel a little self-righteous in a way that I didn't in New York when it wasn't like weird and exotic and like adorable.
Right, so you get
for me to be who I am.
So you get you're exotic kind of thing. You don't get the Jew probably did it type of looks in Seattle. So they're not like discriminating against you in Seattle. They're just like, oh, this is different and exotic.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've heard some, like my mom, I'm from upstate New York originally, and my mother worked in schools where where her students would say stuff like, you know, like Jewing people out of money and stuff like that, or like refer to Jew people. It'd be like, oh, I was like out the other day and I saw a bunch of Jew people, and she'd have to be like, you know, that's not really what you're supposed to say. So in upstate New York, there's a little bit more, or like I got a lot of like, I'd be the only Jewish kid in my class, and they'd like ask me the question about, they'd be like, you know, what is it like in your culture, and sort of like tokenize me like that. Right. So I guess in upstate New York there are places where they're not a whole lot of Jews.
Yeah.
All right. Well. Thank you for calling and giving us your input.
Yes, you are welcome. Shout out to the chat room.
Smart. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. It's really interesting.
An interesting conversation, and then to a larger discussion, just sort of how we perceive race and ethnicity, and sort of that, and be able to have the conversation without it being perceived as being racist or degrading or.
Well, I've gotten into arguments. The big arguments I get into especially recently, people get mad when you acknowledge race. when you acknowledge cultural differences. Like if I say a black girl, they go, why she gotta be black? I'm like, why can't she be black?
Right.
Like I don't understand why I can't say black girl.
To the whole context of we need to be post-racial. I don't see race.
And I believe some people look at it as a negative when you say it, whereas like I'm sorry, folks, when I say black girl, I'm not saying that in a negative in any shape, form, or fashion. I mean that it's culturally, I'm a black dude. Like that's not me putting it down. And if I say, oh look, there's a Jew there, I'm not saying, oh, the Jews are bad and they should be stopped. I'm acknowledging.
Which I learned from my previous employment, sort of saying that to a Jewish person, saying that Jew, or look at the like the Jew is a they see it as a slur or sort of take offense.
Which is I find that terribly strange. I will not fight with someone who's Jewish. But if you think
about it, if someone said that black Elon, you wouldn't take offense to that?
Did they say that black tried to rape me? Or the black's rape? Or the black steal? Then no, I'm not. Like the black, it's when it comes from a cultural ignorance. Like when Donald Trump said he had a good relationship with the blacks. Then I'm like, really, Negro?
Because I was ready to bring that up and say
that's a different situation. There's also, but if you just refer to me as black, and just about the fact that I am black, and I don't have that issue. I don't look at black as a bad thing. I'm sorry, maybe you didn't hear the beginning of Blacking It Up last episode of the radio show when Martin Luther King was telling people, fucking fault being black. We have to check the definition. Yeah, it might be. They might try to make it a bad definition, but guess what?
But it's not.
It's not, and I'm not gonna.
And I'm okay and comfortable with someone saying the black lady or the
right.
It's not. You know, again, to your point, saying the black lady robbed me, or the black, sort of something like that.
Like black people like to steal. Okay, now I got an issue. The black guy walked by. Guess what? I'm fucking black. I walked by. You can say it. It's okay.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I think people themselves are more, or and some people around you may be more uncomfortable with it being said as opposed to you.
Right.
And someone on Twitter, one of my friends said, he said, can we just get past seeing race? And my response is no, because I embrace my blackness. I like being black, and you can be proud to be white. You can be proud to be. Like, the problem becomes when you try to exert some sort of superiority,
right,
based upon your race or ethnicity. That's the problem. Not that you can't own who you are. I have no problem with people being happy that they're white. I'm sure you are.
I bet you are happy to be white.
But when you try to exhibit superiority for being white, that's the problem.
What were you saying, Aaron?
We gotta get past the awkwardness of talking about race.
Yeah.
I don't have it, and I actually get mad when people try to force their awkwardness on me.
Right.
Like I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna mention race, and I'm okay with it, and I'm comfortable, and I'm going to, and you can't stop me from being uncomfortable. And the fact is, that's why we can't have a conversation on race, a national conversation on race, because everyone gets I don't.
Like, do you have to be a black girl? Can you just be an intelligent girl?
I mean, if you should be American first. Actually, no, I'm black first. Then I'm a male.
I always describe it this way. Before it was ever determined what sex I would be, it was always going to be known that I was going to be black because of who my parents were. So before my sex was even found out,
you were black.
I was going to be determined I was going to be black.
Yep. I completely understand it, and yeah, I'm going to go with that. All right. You know what? We've been black.
Yeah, I just want to show. I want to show.
No, do not show. Really, you showing?
I went to a 4th of July.
Oh my God.
Little party, and these were the favors, and I have one for you and one for Aaron. Is it this Twizzlers and M&Ms to make the flag? Take it and hold it up and be happy.
I'm sorry, you just handed me a bag full of diabetes, so I'm not really excited about it.
I'll take that off your hands, Elon. I'm diabetes free.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I thought that was cute. And
you just handed me a bag of diabetes. Thanks for that.
For all of you with kids, that is a great little project for you and your children.
This has been Blacking It Up.
We've been black and patriotic.
You call it what you will.
I gotta go eat my diabetes.
You can enjoy your diabetes all you want. I'm gonna probably go for a bike ride because that's what I do.
Oh, these are mint M&Ms.
I hear you running your mouth. I hear you running your mouth. Focus, slept on, watch me shine. Yeah.